Memos. Memo. Welcome, everyone, to the July Shotsuki, our monthly memorial service. I'd like to just introduce myself. I'm Kathy Mikuni, but I'd like to thank all those who made this service possible. Reverend Gibbs, Ali Sensei, our organist, Howard Hayes, and the beautiful flowers, as usual, done by Kyoko Okuda Gibbs, and the streaming of the service and videotaping by Alan Goto. We're first going to have the recitation of the names. On the first Sunday of each month, we observe the monthly memorial service, Shotsuki Hoyo, in honor of those members of our Buddhist community who have passed away during the respective month in which this service is being held. Sensei will now read the names of those loved ones who passed away in the month of July, in whose memory this morning's service is being conducted. For those of you observing today's service in recognition of family members or friends who have passed away, please come forward as Sensei reads the name of your departed loved one to offer incense in their honor. Thank you. Sensei?
Thank you, Kathy. As I always tell you, if you lost someone in the month of July and we don't have the name on our list yet, please let me know. We'll be happy to add the name and read their name in perpetuity, and there is no charge for that. This is, as it stands, our July Shotsuki Hoyo list. Arita Sachiko, Dehari Shigeko, Doi Takuichi, Domen Kazuyuki, Fujikawa Kiyo, Fujimoto Nobuo, Funada Eiji, Furumoto Doji, Goto Shigeo, Hamano Masashi, Hayashi Emiko, Hayashi Sasuke, Hinata Shinami, Inoue Theodore Ted Takao, Jofuku Yukitoshi, Kamon Matsujiro, Kawahara Toki, Kiho John, Kimura Kazue, Kodama Takao, Kosugi Nancy, Masai Dan, Masumoto Michi, Matsubara Daikichi, Morihiro Misako, Nagayama Hichiro, Naito Frank Keizuchi, Naito Himao, Naito Yukio, Nakamura Towa, Nakanishi Taratsuki, Nakatani Sayo, Nishimoto Yukio, Nishimura Roy Kazuo, Noda Masako, Ugura Nancy, Ogura Ukichi, Okazaki Yukie, Omokawa Kanichi, Oshita Matsuyo, Otani Tasaburo, Otani Ukimi, Oyama Mitsue, Sano Sadao, Sato Kiyokichi, Sato Toshi, Sarah Nobuo, Severance Eugenia Marie, Shiba Jinosuke, Shigeishi James, Shimoda Mizu, Suda Lily Yuriko, Sugita Jiro, Sugasawara Tatsunosuke, Taguchi Gokichi, Tamura Kazumi, Tanaka E, Tokuda Okichi, Yamaguchi Yuri, Yamasaki Jokichi, Yamasaki Mitsuyo. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, Sensei. We'll have our first reflective reading. Will the Sangha please rise? And this quote is from a famous German poet, Rainer Maria Rilke. So don't be frightened, dear friend, if a sadness confronts you larger than any you have ever known, casting its shadow all over you. You must think that something is happening within you, and remember that life has not forgotten you. It holds you in its hand and will not let you fall. Why would you want to exclude from your life any uneasiness, any pain, any depression, since you don't know what work they are accomplishing within you? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. If you could please be seated. We will have sutra chanting, Sambutsuge, on page 33 in your service book, and it will be led by Ali Sensei.
合唱ナモアミダ仏
Namo Amida Butsu.
ナモアミダ仏
Namo Amida Butsu.
ナモアミダ仏
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
仏説無料儒教三仏芸高原義義異人無極如税名無用当社日月間に修行へ女開始音平有脈十目如来予言小生無理小学大王コール実法開門生じ三昧知恵意徳無量修正敬人体前年小仏崩壊愚人人の空語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む人の しし、人徳無量、空君古代、知恵寿命、光明一層、神道大戦、アンガサブ、在所法、可動生じ、未不下脱、不正上位、解任昇進、尿税三昧、知恵以上、五世特物、不行志願、一切空空、一切大安、決し有物、百千の万、無料大小、収入語者、不要一切、死と勝負、不尿愚道、検証不逆、非尿語者、小仏世界、不不影、無種節道、光明師匠、変死小国、尿税精進、二人難量、量が三部、国土第一、五種奇妙、道場超絶、国語内容、任務闘争、がと愛民、道脱一切、地方来所、新熱症状、糸が国、経絡安の、公仏神妙、税が神書、おつがの日、力少々欲、地方世尊、知恵無下、上領子孫、死が信行、軽量心死、食毒中、願用精進、忍辱不敬、ナマンダム、ナマンダム、 合唱。ナモアミダ仏。
ナマミダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏。
ナマミダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏。
ナモアミ
ダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。
Thank you, Ali Sensei, for leading us in a beautiful chant. Will the Sangha please rise for Gatha and remain standing for a reflective reading, which will be the three treasures. The Gatha is on page 132, Mihotoke ni idakarete. So it's page 132. And the reflective recitation will be the three treasures on page 10.
Mihotoke ni idakarete kimi yuki no Nishi no kishi Natsukoshiki Omokage no Kiwateshi Kanashikayo Mihotoke ni Idakarete Kimi yuki no Jinokuni Nisukuri Minokakete Shimishimasu Kashikotayo By immeasurable light, you are embraced, and immeasurable life is realized. Your familiar face and your smile we've lost. Amina's gift to you is enlightenment. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please remain standing for the devotional reading.
Could you turn to page 10, the three treasures? I will lead the leader line, and if you could join me where it says all. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter. But now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you for joining me. If you could please be seated. We're lucky to have two Dharma messages today. The first will be given by Ali Sensei, and that will be followed by Gibbs Sensei. So please listen carefully. There's a lot to absorb.
Oh boy. There we go. You don't want the microphone to fall. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hopefully everyone had a nice 4th of July holiday. Just want to make sure this doesn't fall on me. So to explain how this message is going to work, I'm going to do Gassho real quick, where I put my hands together, say Amida's name 3 times, Namo Amida Butsu, and I'll read a passage from Shinan Shonin, the founder of our sect of Buddhism, who is actually found on the far right of our altar here, and then I'll continue on with my message. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I have collected true words to aid others in their practice for attaining birth, in order that the process be made continuous, without end, and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who are born later join those who were born before. This is so the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. No one knows. So the passage that I mentioned, as I said before, was written by our founder of our school of Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu, in their work titled The Teaching, Practice, and Realization of the Pure Land Way. Also, you may hear it as the Kyogyo Shinsho. So today, as you are aware, we are gathered here for July's Shotsuki service, which is what I've been roughly translating as an auspicious month service. The first part of the term Shotsuki or Sho is what I roughly translate to auspicious or favorable, and Suki is a general term that is used for month. So what is so favorable or auspicious about a memorial service for everyone who has passed away during this month? As you are aware, it's a very busy month. Next week is our Obon Hoyo service and Hatsubon service as well. And our Obon festival is, I think, less than 2 weeks away on the 18th. So it's very busy for us. But for those of us who have lost someone in the month of July, this is a moment where we reflect on those who we've lost in that month. So it is nice to have that moment where we can take a pause to remember them. So for this message, I'd like to touch on a Disney animated story some of you may be familiar with. They do have a live action coming out later this week. It is the story of Moana. If you aren't familiar with this story, it's a story about a daughter of a village chief who longs to see the world beyond this island that she's been living on her entire life. Part of her reason for this longing is her parents have told her, you need to stay on this island. You can't go anywhere outside this island. It's too dangerous. There's no way you can do it. And they really desperately want her to become the village chief. So they're protecting her. They're making sure that she has no encouragement to go out and see the world beyond. Without spoiling too much of the movie, if you haven't seen it, her opportunity comes when a goddess's wrath comes toward the island and starts killing off the crops on this island, endangering the food sources and people that live here. With encouragement from her grandmother, she learns more about her ancestors, those who have come before her and her parents, and so on and so forth. Learning more about the island that she grew up on, the conditions that have kind of kept everyone on this island. And this helps to help her with fighting this curse that is happening on this island. Throughout this journey of Moana, she reflects on those conditions that came before, those ancestors that have brought her to this moment and have helped her to realize who she is and who she can become and what she would like to be. Now, I do have a few questions for all of you, that I would like you to take a moment to think about for yourselves. So as a starter question, what is it that brought you to this service today? Is it to observe the passing of your family or friends? Did family or friends bring you here? Or did you want to visit for your own self? Now I'd like you to think a little bit broader than these temple walls. And the answer to this one will be very different based on how broadly you would like to answer this question. What is it that brought you to this moment here and now? Maybe an answer could be because you had friends and family who helped you through a difficult time. Parents who really cared for you. A life-changing event that helped you to think differently about a situation. Or maybe it's just simply the causes and conditions that have brought you to this very moment. But I would also like you to think about this. What does that mean for you? Now, I would like to quickly read the passage that I read at the beginning of this message. I have collected true words to aid others in their practice for attaining birth, in order that the process be made continuous, without end, and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who are born later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. Those who have been born first guide those who come later. Those who we are honoring today, those who have been born in the Pure Land before us, are all people who have helped us to grow up, whether we are related to them or not. They are those who shared our lives with us, again, whether we are related to them or not. They were our friends who we would go to for advice. They were community leaders and members who made this community what it is today. They were those who made an impact on us, whether directly or not. And all of these people are consistently guiding us to see the wisdom and compassion of Amida's vow. They are showing us a way to go beyond the suffering that we may have. They are still calling to us from Amida's Pure Land to hear the teachings, to find ourselves as humans who may not fully understand the difference between right and wrong, and to try our best to make the best of the causes and conditions that have brought us to this point. So as we gather for today's July Shotsuki, or roughly auspicious month service here at the Pasadena Buddhist Temple, let's take a moment to reflect on those who came before us, the causes and conditions that have brought us here to discover who we are now, and to try to hear Amida's calling voice. And hopefully when we recite Namo Amida Butsu, we are just not calling out to Amida. Amida is calling us with Nembutsu, their name as well, constantly telling us, it's okay. You are okay. And with that, I would like to close today's message. Thank you very much for allowing me to share my understanding of the Dharma with you. And I will close with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Ali Sensei, for a wonderful message. Next, we'll have Reverend Gibbs deliver his Dharma message. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ali. Great talk. Great Dharma message. We went to a movie yesterday. I went to see Disclosure Day. It ran 3 hours, so I won't retell it, especially because it felt like 12 hours. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm saying it's a 3-hour film that feels like 12 hours. So drink a lot of coffee before you go. Dissolve no-dose tablets in the coffee before. It's a challenging slosh. I do want to thank you all for attending the Shotsuki Hoyo service. It is indeed dedicated to the people whose names I read, you know. This is my 12th year here. I used to read these names. I didn't know any of the people, right? Oh, man, I know these people now. And I think of these people often, you know. I remember every time I have medical offices I go to on Bellefontaine, just behind Huntington Hospital. Every time I drove by the Bellefontaine nursing home, I remember Misa Morihito, who was there. I remember visiting her there. Whenever I'm 77, I'm getting arthritis, and one of my arthritic things is my right foot turns out. I have to make it turn back in. It reminds me of all the times that I went with Cliff to take Sayo Nakatani back to the car. She had a thing where her foot turned this way. Mine turns this way. Every time I fight it, I remember Sayo. And Cliff and I would just stand there. We wouldn't help. We both knew you have to let her do it herself, because otherwise it's going to get to where she can't get in and out of the car or something. Never got that far. She was always able to handle things. But I was that little thing on my leg. Every time that comes up, I think of Sayo. Yuki Okazaki taught me how to close the front gate. Every time I close the front gate, I think of Yuki, because she showed me you pull it forward and then you push it. If you try to pull it forward, it takes forever. But if you just pull it towards you and then push it, it's okay. So I remember Yuki whenever I do that. And I'm sorry that these folks are gone. I'm sorry that we've lost these people. I do want to thank my colleagues in presenting the service. Thank Alison Yasaki for that wonderful Dharma message she just gave. She and Kathy Mikuni helped Kyoko Okura Gibbs to clean the Hondo and the Naijin here. Kyoko does the flowers. Howard Hayes is our organist extraordinaire. I don't know how many times he did that Miyotoke ni before, but he just picked that up right away. It's a hard song, and he got that he got the rhythm just perfect. And of course, Alan Goto, our videographer and our tech support guy, who is indispensable to our survival these last 6 years. We wouldn't have made it since the pandemic. We would have just shriveled into nothing without the help that we get from Alan Goto. Let me tell you, sometimes the advice you get from Buddhist tradition sounds a lot like Euro-American colloquialisms. You know, there's some stuff that's just about getting through the day. Some of it's about the meaning of life. Some Buddhist teachings are about the meaning of life and destiny beyond this life, and some are about getting through the day. So, you know, for instance, something you get on the internet, I think this is a version of something from the Dhammapada. The past is gone. The future is not here yet. There is only one moment for you to live. Well, that is true. It's not false, but it sounds a lot like the Grassroots, 1966, sha-la-la-la-la-la, live for today. It's not the deepest teaching that we got in our canon. It's okay, it's true. That level of advice is valuable for day-to-day guidance in times of moderate stress. Today, our focus is on the loss of those we love through death. We need something more than sha-la-la-la-la, live for today for that. We need a deeper reassurance, and we want a promise of seeing them again. Now, Buddhism, in its 200 or so schools, extends that promise. Each school, in one way or another, extends that promise. The Buddha Dharma explains that promise in dozens of different ways, all of which are true, of which I'll speak about 3 of them. I'll mention about 3 of them today. The oldest Buddhist way of thinking about this is in terms of future lives in a kind of a one-off sequential way. Very similar to the Hindu view of reincarnation, very similar. And the advantage of that way of looking at things is it explains karma very clearly, that your life is going to be determined by your karma. Your karma is your conscious decisions or your characteristic decisions. Your correct things that are just characteristic of who you are becoming. That is your karma, and there will be a future life, and we will see our loved ones in our future lives. And this is what the Theravadins will always tell you. But that isn't always the most reassuring thing, because if you push a Thai or a Sri Lankan or a Burmese monk on this and say, so what's that mean I'm going to see my mother in the next life? And they're saying, well, you might be her auntie in the next life. Well, okay. Okay, thanks. You know, it's something, but that is the way they think. But that's just a model of thought, one way of thinking. We got dozens of them, dozens of different ways of thinking. They're all true. They all lift up a portion of the truth. The truth is too complex to be formalized in human thought. That's why we think 10 different things or 20 different things. Of those dozens of distinct models of thought, Buddhists use to understand how we can once again mingle with our friends and our family, those who have predeceased us, those who have passed on ahead of us. So please allow me to mention a second way of thought, and that is that this is a Sanzen Daisen Sekai. Now, that's translated into an English language term. This is English. Trichiliocosm. You find yourself walking down the street saying, hey, it's a great trichiliocosm today. That's apparently English, but you could fool me. I can tell you the Sino-Japanese, the Chinese and the Japanese for it is Sanzen Daisen Sekai. It means this is a vast, vast world, and we're all part of this, and one thing flows into another and cannot be separated. You may like trichiliocosm, but I'm going to stick with multiverse. It's a multiverse we're living in. So if I compare the multiverse as it is taught by Buddhists with the version in the film Doctor Strange and the Metaverse of Madness, there's a crucial difference. If you saw that movie, you got like different Doctor Stranges in different areas of the metaverse, right? But over here, this guy's really a good guy. And this guy, he's just like Doctor Strange, except he's a jerk. But so they're different. But the Buddhist view, whatever they may be qualitatively, they're the same. That's you too. What's more, not only are the two Dr. Stranges really the same guy, he's also the same guy as the teenager Chavez and the master magician Wong. We're all the same person. Subjectivity is a singularity. This is the truth about the multiverse, and this is one of the models we use to understand life after death and reunion with those we love after death. So that's, again, one other way we have of freeing ourselves of a sense of loss. You know, we're going to see them again in our next life. We're already seeing them again here, there, and everywhere. We're just not consciously aware of it right now. You're already having tea with your mother on the Champs-Élysées. You're already going with your dad fishing. It's already happening in another corner of this metaverse, and you'll know that one day. You'll know that one day. That's another way of freeing us of that sense of loss, which is somewhat illusory. In this mutually interpenetrating Sanzen Daisen Sekai, we are already united with our loved ones in other dimensions of our lives, and we will realize that in awakening to Buddhahood. There's more that can be said about this, and I'll say more about this in future weeks. The trichiliocosm, or the Sanzen Daisen Sekai. May as well learn the Chinese. It's just as easy to say as trichiliocosm. Where did they get that? But that trichiliocosm view of one interpenetrating universe, you know, once Shunryu Suzuki explained it by saying that one thing flows into another and cannot be separated. That's one view of this trichiliocosm, this Daisen Sanzen Sekai. Or as John Lennon once put it, I am he as you are me as we are all together. Which, you know, as George pointed out, is both a joke and true. John deliberately did it in a jokey way, because if it's true, you don't have to say it sophisticated. I am he as you are me as we are all together. So, our deceased parents and friends and family are not really gone. Where did they ever go? Kyoko and I went to the Los Angeles County Museum of Art yesterday, and we saw the Buddhist statue exhibit. It's a good exhibit. It's just that, you know, these are all part of their standing collection. They didn't bring in a single new piece. But that's okay. That's okay. They put them all together, and you get to see more of them. So it was worth seeing. We did not go to the Japanese pavilion this time. We weren't sure if it was open. We went a couple places, and they were doing construction near the Japanese pavilion. We said, oh, let's go for now. But in the Japanese pavilion, they have a painting which exemplifies a koan. Koans are just, that koan actually comes from the Chinese court system, that term, and it means precedent. So a koan is simply a striking case that is a precedent for living. So one of the koans, which has been remembered in a painting at the Japanese pavilion at LACMA, recounts this story in China when this adept, this very insightful Buddhist master, was walking with a young novice, a young monk, and they're just walking out in nature, and they walk by a lake, and as will happen, I'm sure you've done it too, they startled some birds. Now, I think on the painting they're cranes because it looks better, but I think in the story they were swans, and they could have been ducks, but they were birds. They're walking by the lake, and as will happen, they suddenly startled, and they took off suddenly. Very startling if you had that happen, if you're near them. A lot of noise. Wow, there they go. And so the young monk looked kind of startled, and the seasoned master turned to him and said, so what just happened? And the young monk goes, well, the birds flew away. And the adept master walks over and tweaks his nose, just tweaks it, says, where did they ever go? Where did they ever go? And that's this view of oneness, deep oneness of all things. I miss my mother. I can't hear her voice right now. Where did she ever go? She's right here, right now. It's my limitation that I can't be in touch with her, that I will drop that limitation with the light of the Buddha, with the awakening through the pure realm, and I will speak with her again. They're all right here. Everyone we love, everyone who seems to have left us, they're all right here. This is one of the versions of oneness that is cherished in the Buddhist teachings. Our loved ones are right now, right here, in the real here and now. We will wake up to that fact one day, and we will know then what all the Buddhas know, that there's only one life, and there are no breaks in it. There are no separations in this one life, this singularity, which is our subjectivity. What I tell you and myself now is that we are not alone. All those you have ever loved are still here with you. Where would they ever have gone? As you wish, please join me in closing Gasho, closing the Dharma message portion of the service. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for a wonderful message that we are all together, that, we are a team. I think life is a big team with everything outside. But speaking of teams, I thought I'd end this, our service with a quote from an Instagram person on the soccer game. And this is about the Japan-Brazil game. So I thought, well, think about team and about spirit and about, character. So here's the quote. They play with heart, lose with grace, and win without arrogance. Football ends after 90 minutes, but character, class, and respect last forever. To the Samurai Blue, you didn't just play the game, you elevated it. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. I'm sorry, I was supposed to ask you to stand up, but it's okay. You can listen to it quite comfortably sitting down. So now we're going to have announcements. And also, I believe we have some Krispy Kreme donuts in the classroom, so you can join us after service. Yeah, so come and join us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to our service today. And hi, Al in Colorado, and Al in the back. We've started our Obon dance practices on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, starting at 7. Please join us. Next Sunday is our very special Obon Hatsubon service. We have Bishop Harada coming, and he's bringing Freddie the frog to help him with his Dharma message. But he is also going to come to give Kathy Nikuni, her ministerial assistant certificate, make her official. So I hope everybody comes next week. It's a very special service, and then you get to meet Freddie. He's the only green minister that I know of that comes and talks. So I think that's, and next Sunday also, Mickey's going to be here. She is our artist who did the mural. If you didn't get a chance to sign your name on the wall or on the baseboard of the wall, she will be here next week, so we can add your signatures if you'd like to come. So again, next Sunday, Mickey will be here, and you can add your name to the mural. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Marvin. I just wanted to remind people that there's still have time if they there's a Heart Mountain pilgrimage starting on July 23rd through the 25th. And my wife and I and my son, his girlfriend, his fiance are going. So I just wanted to remind you about that. Thank you.
As mentioned, a regular week this week, I'll be here 11 o'clock on the porch Tuesday for informal discussion. We'll have 1 o'clock Tai Chi Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock for the meditation. Again, 7 o'clock for the dance practice where Steve and Irene teach us how to do yoga and dance. Hope to see you.
Yeah, we hope to see everyone for these events. I just also wanted to mention that at Descanso Garden, there's an exhibit of, it's called The Sound of Water. And it's a small exhibit, but interesting one by Japanese female artists. So, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to mention 2 things. Just to let you know, if you live in the local area, the Huntington Library in San Marino over here has a wonderful exhibit on display called This Land Is, and it's 250 years since the signing of our Declaration of Independence to the present day. And there's a nice small show up called This Land Is, related to the song This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. And the second thing is that they have 250 years of information on LA at the Gene Autry Museum. It's fascinating history. You get to know about like these streets called Lancashire and the city of Van Nuys. You get to learn the history of LA. LA's history goes back to when 1776, our country, but they were not part of the United States at that time, just to let you know. Thank you.
I think there's one other fundraiser, the Lantern. I'm not real good about it, but July 12th, you can have a lantern to honor anybody, who's passed away. So, that's something to think about. I'm sure we'll have things available at the next service if you're around, or come and see us. Yeah. But again, thank you so much for coming to service. It is really, I always feel honored to honor everyone who has passed away in the month of July. And it's always a special service. I always remember, the people who've passed away in my life, my mom and dad, and my grandmother and grandfather, and my uncles, and, the people that I truly loved. So anyway, thank you again. Have a safe trip home, and if you're into soccer, there's lots to watch. Is it Mexico and England? That's a biggie. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I love it. I love the pageantry. Anyway, I hope you remember the true spirit of sportsmanship, and hopefully we see it. Thank you very much for coming to service. And if you haven't had a chance to offer incense, please come up and do so. Thank you.